guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but here is my December wrap up. So in December I read quite a few things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, I believe. What I'm going to do is just go through them quickly, let you know what I've read, what I rated and what I thought of them really. So here goes. So the first one was These Shallow Graves by Jennifer Donnelly, and this was a book that I got off of NetGalley. It's been out quite a while, so I wanted to get it read. It was on my Beat the Backlist TBR pile, so I finally got that read. So this is a young adult historical fiction novel that is set in, I think it's around New York. And this girl we follow is Jo Montfort, and she's in a rich family. And it all starts off where she's in a boarding school, but she gets called home to her mother's because her father has committed suicide. So she obviously goes home, and she just doesn't think that her father is one that would commit suicide. So she starts to investigate, which leads into sort of trouble and exciting things happen. So I quite like this. I gave it a 3.5 stars. It was good. It had quite a steady pace throughout, but it then really went quite quickly. The pace sort of really ramped up near the end. It was quite good. I mean, I liked some of the atmospheric stuff and some of the descriptions of what she wore and stuff like that, but there was some things that I didn't quite like, so it felt quite predictable at times, and there's also things that conveniently happened. Someone turned up and it was, oh, how convenient that you've turned up here about just about the time. And the chemistry was quite good between the two main characters, so I really did like that, and it's something that I would recommend if you like historical fiction. So the next one that I read in the month of December was a non-fiction novel, and that was Queen Victoria by Lucy Worsley. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good non-fiction, and it's very easy to read. So if you're not a non-fiction reader, I mean, this is quite a good one to start out with because it's not so info dumpy. So it starts off and it goes in chronological order from when her parents met, when they got married, when she was born, when her father died, when she became queen, and so on and so on and so on, all the way throughout her life. And it shows some great things about her. Obviously she was a very strange woman. She had her own ways, but it was definitely a good insight into what her life was like, so I really did enjoy that. The next one that I read was a very short novella, which was Gwendy's Button Box by Stephen King. I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. It follows a girl called Gwendy, and she is trying to lose a bit of weight. She's a bit podgy. She's only like 11 at the start of it, and to start losing weight, she decides that she is going to run up the steps. There's quite a few steps up to Castle View, and she keeps going and going up there every day or so. And then one day she meets this strange man who asks her to sit down and gets into conversation with her and asks if she can look after this box. And this box gives her sort of treats which will help her through her life, but there are some buttons that she shouldn't be touching, and it's all about her really trying to get over the idea of having to push this and what would happen if she pushed these buttons and the restraint that she has to hold. And it also makes you think about if this got into the wrong hands, this sort of box got into the wrong hands of somebody that was a bit more evil, I suppose. It is very good. It's short, it's quite good though, and as I said, it's thought-provoking, so I recommend that one. I then read Cactus by Sarah Haywood, which I gave it 3 stars, and now thinking about it, I think I would probably give it 2.5. So it follows Susan Green. She's around about 45. Her mum's just died, and she finds out that she's pregnant. She's not planning to be pregnant, but she's found out that she's pregnant, and her mum has left the house to her brother to live in until he has finished when he gets his own place. So this is her pursuing a legal action against her brother to try and get the house and for her baby and everything. And then there's her brother's friend who's like a mediator between them both. And I mean, this one, it's quite slow in pace. It does take a long time, and not a lot happens really. And there is a bit of a romance in it, but it's not really a romance. There's no chemistry. It lacks so much chemistry, and it's so unbelievable. I just really thought that it was quite a bit. It was a waste of time. So I think I'm going to give it like a 2.5 out of stars. I mean, there were some things that were good, and it was easy to read, but it wasn't the best thing that I've read. The next one was another non-fiction, which was Talking with Female Serial Killers by Christopher Berry D, which I give 2.5 stars. So this is all about Christopher Berry D, who is a criminologist, and he goes and speaks to all these female serial killers and finds out a bit like their background and why they wanted to do it, why they did what they did. And I got this book out because I thought it was, you know, I get quite interested in what goes through a person's mind when they're when they lose it and kill somebody, and why they did it. So I was very interested in that. But there was quite a lot of things I didn't like. So he was quite opinionated towards the women. He was also referenced his books all the time, other books, and was saying how Monster with Charlize Theron was based on his book, and that was like every other page, so it was quite a bit of a nightmare. He was also giving out like addresses of people's graves and people's addresses to if you wanted to write to them, so in their prisons, and I just thought that was just a bit strange and not something that I would really like. And then there was also something where he was saying that he was staying in a 5-star hotel in Russia, and then he was going to the Russian women's prison, which was really dire, had hardly any heating and stuff like that, and it was just like, it just really didn't rub me the right way, basically. And I mean, it was okay, the concept was interesting, but it was more of the actual writer, author, that was not my cup of tea. So I gave that 2.5 stars. Like I said, the concept was good, but it was just the actual author that I didn't like. The next one was Be With Me by Jaylin, which is also Jennifer L. Armentrout. I gave this a 3.5 stars. So this is the second in the With You or With Me series. So this follows Jace and Teresa. So Teresa is Cameron's little sister, and it follows these two next into the series. So I can't really say much because it's a romance. It follows these two. You sort of get to know a little bit about them in the first book, and then this follows on. So it was quite good. There was some problematic elements in there, but other than that, it was good. It was standard. Sometimes it was a little bit frustrating because they wouldn't talk to each other, and but you know, that's a normal romance. The next I read was Mind the Gap, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and these are written by, I think it's McCann. I think it's Brian McCann, maybe. I'll put the name here. So these are graphic novels all about this girl who gets found beaten up in an alley, and she's taken to hospital. She's in a coma. In this coma, her sort of soul goes into a different world, different dimension, and it's there that she tries to solve the mystery of who attacked her and why she's there. But then also she discovers that she can actually speak to other people that are in comas with their souls, which are trapped in this other world, and she goes into their bodies to try and communicate to her family, and they all want her to go back and communicate some last words to their family. So these were okay. These were, I probably gave them 3 stars each. They do have some LGBTQ elements in them. I just found that it was really choppy, the storyline. It kept going back and forth, which I wasn't so a big fan of. The artwork, I did like the artwork, but in volume 2 the artwork, there is this part of the artwork that changed, and I wasn't really that keen on it. But I don't think I am going to continue with this series. It's not something that's really I'm desperate to read another part of, so I think I'm just going to give this one a miss and just leave these 2 red ones red. And the last book that I read was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. So I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This follows Jack and Grace, and they are seen as the perfect couple. He's really attractive, he's wealthy, they've got the perfect house, she's the perfect hostess. But what they don't realise is that it's not all what it's supposed to be, and there is sort of something a bit horrible going on in the background. So this is a really good book. I really enjoyed this. From the offset, you know that something isn't right, even when they're saying, oh, how amazing it is. And it starts off with them having some family, not family dinner, but a dinner around their house, and there's a new sort of couple that join their gathering, and one woman seems to be not quite convinced and asking questions, and some that are difficult for her to answer without giving too much away, so that he doesn't sort of punish her for what she says. So this was really good. It was really fast paced. I really enjoyed that. It had a lot of mystery element to it. There is one bit that I didn't know, and maybe you guys would like to know, but that there is an element of animal abuse in this, which I didn't know about, I wasn't aware, but it's something to go and be mindful about if you're going to read this, and if it's a trigger for you, then I would suggest maybe giving it a miss. But I have read all 3 of B.A. Paris's work now, and 2 of them I've given 5 out of 5 stars, and the last one, Bring Me Back, was a 3 out of 5 stars. But I will continue to read whatever she brings out, because I've had quite good experience with B.A. Paris's work. So that was the books that I read in December. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to hit subscribe, then that'd be great. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time with another video.